In this video I'll analyze my favorite combat design in Souls games, you pretentious bastards. Game is Mortal Shell. While Nioh has the best combat system I have ever seen, it forces players to play more like a Diablo game after the first and second playthrough for quick grind success rather than utilizing the combat system for something more than an ability spam. Mortal Shell sticks to more slow and refined combat that does many things great with a couple weak elements. Let's start with basic things such as walking and running. I'm gonna focus on greatsword play because this is what impressed me the most, how much a simple weapon can create such a meaningful experience. Look at the small animations while walking, shoulders moving, knees buckling, greatsword sliding across the shoulder. Looks quite realistic. Running and sprinting the same thing. Running with a greatsword on the shoulder while body replicates realistic muscle use if the greatsword would be resting on the shoulder while running. Sprinting changes the greatsword position because it would be unrealistic to run full speed with a greatsword resting on the shoulder. Small movement changes like that add a lot to immersion. Now let's check out attacks. Look at this simple combo. Every attack in the combo makes sense because it has a start, swing through and the end. It's not instant. Movement behind each attack in the combo also appears to be quite realistic. Legs following arms with every attack. For second and third attack in the combo there is forward momentum because a greatsword would force legs to move forward with a forward swing due to weight of the weapon. Overall, greatsword weight feels amazing. Hitting enemies feels really good too because of that weight. Sound effects are very punchy and slicey, which adds to the weight effect. Enemy reactions are mediocre to getting hit, but the satisfying thing is the final hit that frequently gives the feeling of smashing the enemy to the ground due to the weight of the weapon. Harden effect is a brilliant idea. While Mortal Shell doesn't have animation cancel that usually breaks immersion even though it is necessary in most games, developers have added something of a block that doesn't break the flow of combat or immersion due to animation cancel. Instead, full harden animation plays out with invincibility frames complemented with visual stone-like effect. It also allows combo continuation when the effect is done. Movement itself is very important. Enemies do have a certain amount of attack tracking, but not too drastic, like in Lords of the Fallen for example. This allows ordinary movements to have an impact next to dodge. By going left, right or backwards, there is a possibility of avoiding the attack completely. This is what most games are missing. They either add too much tracking in attacks, or even if the miss occurs due to simple movement and positioning adjustment, it seems like a hit frame mistake or a bug, and not a product of smart movement to exploit the enemy's weak side during certain attacks. Mortal Shell enemies, even with tracking in their attacks, do not have instant swing animations, but every move has start, middle and end, which allows for movement positioning to have an impact. Without instant attack animations, there is also no need for immersion and animation breaking attack cancel. Instead, simple positioning and harden is more than enough to deal with the enemy attacks while retaining realistic combat appearance with minimal immersion breaking. Dodge is great and not so great in my opinion. First, to commend again non-instant animation. When the dodge is pressed, there are invulnerability frames at the start and middle, which is accompanied again with stone visual effect, at least with Harrow's Shell. This is fantastic because it doesn't break animation while also retaining at least some realism to the movement itself. However, I do think that dodge with Harus covers too much distance and could have been shortened a bit for more realism. Like with the backstep, that is amazing. I'm not sold on parry though, would like for it to be more a weapon based animation than some offhand thingy. It does have specific timing, which is not bad at all because again it isn't instant. Only works though because enemy attacks are not instant too. Finishing animation after the parry is bad because weapon penetrating the body looks very weak and unconvincing. A lot of developers have problems with this. From Software being one of most notable for having for more than a decade now terrible finishing animations, especially backstabs with very little improvement. Anyway, that is the overview, probably best darn greatsword gameplay I've experienced in RPGs, with only For Honor topping it off the top of my head, but it is a PvP multiplayer based game with many more attack types and animations. Honestly, I would love someone to take For Honor system and do a single player story progression game. Not Ubisoft and their AI based game creation though. Also would love for someone to take Mortal Shell and create a full-fledged game with similar scope like From Software games. Hopefully I've explained things so that it makes sense. Combat in Mortal Shell is not perfect, but to me it is one of the best because of the focus on small things that make the combat more realistic. Thanks for watching.